I will just unleash, just so we can get right into the quality. That was the appetizer. This is the entree. So here's the thing. I'll do it properly. I'll just say the headline. I'll let you react, and then I'll come, as in just initial reaction. So basically, the headline is, Rookie's career is way more impressive than Faker's, and Faker might never be able to do the things Rookie has done. Now, you might think, so that's the headline, by the way. Rookie's career is way more impressive than Faker's, because here's why. Because one of the things I really hate, and Kira will have heard me bang on about this 1 million times, but it's because when I learn a concept, I try to integrate and I try to be aware of it myself, always going forward. It's a bit like, you might have seen people like LS when they learn a logical fallacy. Yeah, they never shut the fuck up banging on about it, but that's because they're trying to level everyone's thinking up and try and make people not fall in certain pitfalls, because it gets annoying when you have the same circular arguments and people make the same points. So one of the things I find really frustrating is when people do what you call single factor analysis. You pick one factor and you just decide, right, whoever's better at that, that's it, that decides the whole thing. So famously, the classic one in esports or sports is rings, championships. So you don't actually have an argument of well, I think Ronaldo's better than Messi, well, I think Messi's better than Ronaldo. You don't talk about how they play football or what they did for their teams or what their roles were. What you do is you just go, well, one has a World Cup, or you go, well, the other one has more Champions Leagues, or you go, well, look who has the most Ballon d'Or. And what you're doing by doing that is you're actually not having the discussion. You're just proxying it to one factor, and then you're just saying essentially higher number wins, which isn't analysis. It's not even a discussion. So the reason why I say that Rookie has had a way more impressive career than Faker's, and I don't know that Faker or anyone could do what Rookie has done, is because, have you noticed when people compare Rookie and Faker, they don't even mention that Rookie plays in China. They act like the fact he's in China is incidental only in that they don't play each other in the domestic league in LCK all the time, and they haven't met enough times, right? They don't ever factor in when they say, well, I think Faker's better than Rookie, that Faker played his whole career, 100% of it, speaking to people in his native language, Korean, who were from Korea. They were all Korean, and he never ever had to leave his home, and he lived in his hometown the whole time, right? Meanwhile, Rookie, who they're judging as if he was in the same setting, played the majority of his career in the LPL, which won, by the way, for most of history has been harder to qualify to international tournaments from than Korea. That's, if you just go and look it up, because of the Korean exodus, that is just almost a fact, even though it's an opinion, obviously. I'd just say I could make a very good case for it. Two, because he is Korean himself, that means when he talks to his teammates, remember, Faker's doing all this great shot calling, right? Rookie is speaking to some Korean teammates like fucking The Shy are Korean, and The Shy famously wasn't fluent in Mandarin. So he was speaking, are you ready? Rookie himself, after enough years, learned Mandarin to speak to some of the Chinese players in Mandarin. Then he would translate to The Shy into Korean. And then, by the way, before he got good enough at Mandarin, which takes years and years of loads of hours a day, they would all speak essentially pidgin English. Not even English like we do in LEC. In LEC, when Jankos talks to Perks, it doesn't matter that Perks comes from Croatia and Jankos comes from Poland. When I say they're not speaking their native language, it's both of their second language. They're both very fluent. They could come in this call right now and understand everything we're saying. So if you don't know, guys, Korean and Chinese, there are a few characters of Chinese in Korean, but they are totally different languages. In fact, Chinese is even a tonal language compared to Korean. It's so different that I've been told it takes 5 or 6 years to even get to the level of being like a child if you were in one of the countries and you'd learn vice versa. So I think it's actually bonkers that is never factored into any discussion about Faker and Rookie's careers. Because think about how much easier Faker had it as a result than Rookie. Then I'll chuck a couple of other details in. Now look at what Rookie did accomplish, being a Korean, speaking English to some people and Chinese to others and translating for others, which is he not only won Worlds. Now I'm just going to put this out there. There's only one mid laner's ever repeated Worlds, and that is Faker, who we've just explained is sat in the best possible position. None of the other LPL, all those LPL Korean mids that have won Worlds, no one ever repeated. Doinby never got 2, Scout never got 2, no one ever got 2. It's all Rookie didn't either, by the way. So what my point is, when people go, but Faker has 4 Worlds, and yes, what? As far as we can tell, only Faker, and arguably you could say Showmaker probably should have 2, but he fucked up that one against Scout. It's only people who are from Korea can ever have 2, as far as we can tell. So I don't even know whether that's a diss against Rookie. Then I'll just throw this out there. Remember what I just said about how at times he's having to speak English, and before you know. By the way, he was winning MVP of the LPL before he ever was fluent in Mandarin. I think he won the MVP first time like 2016, and they didn't even used to give out the MVP. MVP, by the way, in like season 5. He is a 4-time LPL MVP, if people don't know. That's throughout his whole career. He's done something like 9 All-Pro teams or 8 All-Pro teams. By the way, one of them, he was on the second team this spring with this fucking whack-ass NIP. So if you look at what this guy's actually accomplished, champion of the league, bazillion times up. By the way, I'll just throw in a few things about his teammates that Faker never had anything approaching. So you might think there have been times when Faker had like split effort for fucking support, or, you know, he had like, for example, Hooney was a bit up and down. Bro, that's not, none of the Faker players are ever on the level of this. And I'm about to name someone. Do you remember Z-Tai? He used to be the mid laner of the IG. Then he became the top laner for 2 years. Now, you know what's funny? He wasn't bad. I'll tell you what, Faker's not taking role swapped people, boys. Then I'll give you another one. Do you know who used to be the ADC of Rookie? A guy called Kid. He then just played fucking jungle for like a year. Bro, look, Rookie's winning MVP when this is going on. So the reason I actually did this hot take is because 1, it's an amazing hot take. 2, it's the headline to the episode. But 3, it's actually got some substance to it. You probably thought I was wilding here. You probably thought this was just going to be an eye test thing or what do I like. But I actually think contextually, I think people are doing that argument all wrong. By the way, at the end of it, you can still say you think Faker's better or he won more. That's all great. But I think that's an interesting way to frame it. Come on, guys, hit me with it. Do you hate it?
I have just one question.
Go on.
Wasn't he in KT Arrows or Bullet that won 2014?
Yeah, for like 1 year.
One of the Hazard split.
Yeah.
Right. So he beat Samsung Blue and Samsung White on their prime to become the champion. And he didn't make Worlds back then, right? Right. So that's I think that for the people who watch League for a long time, being the champion of the LCK of the OGN Summer in 2014 is a lifetime achievement. It was probably one of the tournament that was harder than Worlds. Let's be honest.
That was amazing that year. Yeah,
it was harder than Worlds.
It was way harder than Worlds. Way harder. That year it was insanely harder because China wasn't a team already.
Right.
I mean, there is some substance to the arguments. I'm gonna start. Sorry.
Go on.
I think it is very. I think that there is a reason why Rookie is a fan favorite for a lot of people. And I think that because already in terms of play style, he plays extremely well, and everybody knows that like if not for the career choices, his trophy shelf would be like twice as big.
Yes.
I feel like it is very hard to compare him to Faker, obviously, right? And I will still stand that the take is extremely hot in that sense. But I would say that I think that winning Worlds in 2018, he has been the leading factor, one of the leading factor in China becoming a major region. If you look at like the transformation of Chinese teams between 2014,
that was the first ever LPL Worlds win. You're right, yeah.
And LPL has never been the same since, right? I feel like this team, IG, was the experiment for the blueprints of what will become the Chinese team in the future. If you look at Ben, right, he walks in the Shy footsteps. Having carried top laners is like one of the signature moves of China on bruisers, right? Like melee champion that carry through side lanes. Chinese signature. Like even Korea, they play Jace. They are really good at Jace. They poke, they play space very well. But they're mostly, I would say, semi weak side. They're not like purely strong side. So there is a lot of things to say that being at the center of a team that nobody counted on, and if you look at the teammates with whom he won Worlds that year, trajectory after,
of course,
it's not brilliant.
No, they're pretty much known without him. Yeah. So
it's
only the Shy and Jackie Love. That's it.
Yeah. So there is clearly like a huge contributing factor of Rookie to the LPL and to the state it's currently in. Even though I think that someone that like Knight is probably better than him. I don't think the LPL, I wouldn't say like he's better than Faker, but I don't know if any foreign player would have helped the LPL shape to the point it is right now as much as Rookie did, ever.
Yeah.
So I'll go one thing. I actually think there's like a framing here. I actually think if you like swap them over, they would have like, if you gave them each other circumstances, they would have both done worse than each other. As in, like, if you had given Faker Rookie's like path in life, he would have done like worse than Rookie, and if you had given Rookie Faker's path in life, he would have done worse than Faker. And the reason I say this, if you go look at some of like, so like take season 5 Worlds, okay, when Rookie was, you know, a good LPL member, carries IG to Worlds, but like his team just doesn't understand lane swaps, and neither does Rookie. Like they actually just categorically just don't know what's like going on, and eventually by tournament end, like Faker's like team and Faker have like the best understanding of that like meta and the picks. You know what I mean? He's like the only human being on the planet playing like Rise, and for example, you would never have gotten that with Rookie. Rookie, you know what I mean? I think Rookie was mainly playing Orianna and LeBlanc in that tournament. But you would not Faker in 2018 would never have been Rookie. The other thing, the tag put out against him, not against him, but in terms of career trajectory, Rookie has the weird thing, and this all just depends on who you are, like in terms of your analysis. His best year of his like performance is contested in people's like mind's eye for who was the best player. So like I think Rookie's best year is 2018, and I think he's the best player of that year. But some people think it's Uzi. Like, people think it's Uzi because he won the 2 LPL splits in the MSI, but I actually think it's Rookie. I don't care. And then other people actually think it's the Shy. Other people think Rookie's own teammate was better than Rookie because at the Worlds, even though he was like literally getting subbed out and like fucking about and stuff. By the way, he literally didn't play an entire playoffs because he broke his fucking hands, right? That like he's like substituted, and actually like he was more impressive in terms of like, and he was up against harder competition at the tournament. You know what I mean? He was up against like Smeb, and the Rookie was didn't have the most favourable matchup until like UK.
By the way, remember as well that they also gave fucking Ning MVP of the finals too, which is like, what even is this? What? All he did is get the skull crab every game. Like,
that is the killer. The really interesting bit with Rookie, and this is the thing, is he also, and I've watched, Rookie's a player I can safely say I think I've watched every single game of his career, and he has like an unbelievable magical career. Rookie's like, people talk about like, the IG int, you know, when the game goes to like shit, and one thing that people don't often talk about Rookie is Rookie like not so much tilts. I don't know if it's tilts because you can't really see the emotions of it, but when the game goes to like shit and like the decision making of IG goes to like shit, everyone kind of likes to go like hands off and go, oh, don't blame Rookie, right? But I've seen some of those games, like I've seen like the Shy and like Rookie be like going in with them, like the two of them into like 3 and 4 like people. And it's part of like his charm because he's an immensely like aggressive, like but controlled like player. But like there was something about that team. There was like an aura and majesty about that team of like they had these like, you know what I mean? Like for example, obviously at the same tournament, T1 was upset by G2, but IG literally imploded like live on stage at MSI, losing to like TL. And Rookie, you know what I mean? And Rookie literally had like an implosion. He then also had an absolute implosion with the V5 team. He went in as the #1 de facto team. Were they NIP or the V5 at the time? They were V5. They went in as the de facto best team by far and away in spring, and I don't even think they reached finals. I think they got put out by TES with like Knight, and RNG beat them as well. And then in the summer, they had the exact same implosion in game. This time they didn't even have Karsa like on the team. So because you get so much less media stuff, it would be really interesting to see what's going on with like with Rookie teams. But his ability to keep his like personal level up, because he's only 1 year Faker's like junior, but his actual individual levels like outlasted Faker's.
It's ridiculous.
By like like,
by the way, that's even another point I would make, which is here's another reason why Faker's career is completely unfair compared to Rookie's, right? You know how Faker for the last like 5 years has just played like the Zhao Hu general style, not like I have to carry the lane. Rookie wouldn't even have that option. He plays in a fucking second language. Like, Rookie actually has to still be a person who can be, like I said, this year, a fucking second team all LPL mid laner. Like, he actually just has to still carry from mid lane. Like, and as a result, even though I agree, he obviously hasn't been close to the best player the last like 3 years, he's still top 3 or 4 guys at his role. It's actually bonkers. Like, his longevity is actually impossible. Like, I always used to say the only other player, like Uzi didn't have long enough and he was overrated in the LPL. The 2 players who actually have the best longevity in League of Legends, Faker isn't one of them. The 2 players are Deft and Rookie, because they actually are able to be elite players for that long as well. That's the part that melts my brain. Like, dude, even last year on D+, fucking Deft was still good, guys. He had like all the best laning stats, etc. Like 10 years into his career, that's impossible. So yeah. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.